Hello, welcome again to our Culture Academy. Today we want to talk about how to survive in a new culture. I will give you 10 tips for expats how to survive in a new culture. I have observed it in the past that many expats came into a new culture and after a year or two they couldn't cope with the culture and they left. So I will give you 10 tips today how to survive in a new culture. Tip number 1. Learn as much as you can before you leave. Read books about the culture and not just books about travel, where are the nice places in the country. No, read books about geography, read books about politics, about history. Ask people what the culture is, what it is like to live in a culture, how the people function, what their understanding of time, their understanding of individualism is, and so on. So learn as much as you can before you even leave for the new country. Tip number 2. Learn the language well. Just get by with a few words in the country that you can go shopping. No, you need to learn the language real well. Take time to learn the language because it's so important to understand the people and to communicate with the people. If you don't learn the language well, then you can't communicate and you always feel left out. So my tip number 2 is that you learn the language really good. Tip number 3. Do not compare the new culture with your own culture. It doesn't make sense to compare because your culture is so much different than the new culture. If you think that this thing in your culture is better or that thing is not good enough for you, don't make your own culture the norm. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't help you to compare cultures. Just accept that this is a different culture. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just different. And I think you just need to accept that. Tip number 4. Do not retreat into your own culture. Very often if you come into a new culture, you have the tendency to retreat into your own culture. Just meet with people from your own culture, with your own language, and go back to WhatsApp, to Twitter and to Facebook and communicate with the people in your home country. If you retreat into your own culture, it doesn't help you to become familiar with the new culture. And you don't learn new things and you cannot adapt to the new culture. Do not only visit people from your own culture. You go to the specific clubs where you meet people from your own culture. You go to the church where you can speak your own language, and you go to barbecues. It doesn't help you if you retreat into your own culture and don't be open for the new things, don't be open for the new culture and learn new things that you do not know yet. If you think your own culture is better, it's ethnicism. There's no culture better than the other one. It's just different. You need to learn that and you need to understand that. What can you do? Not just to mingle with your own people. This is tip number 5. Go as much as possible out and meet people from the new culture. Mingle with the national people. Go to the marketplace and do your shopping in the marketplace. Go to the places where people are. Join associations. Go to the soccer club, go to the firefighters, or go to choirs. Join where you come close with people, build relationship with the people, and this will help you to get into the new culture and feel at home in the new culture. Well, my counsel number 6 would be build trust with the people around you. If you distrust, if you are suspicious with the people, how do they do these things and can I trust them? How do they do this? That doesn't help you if there's a distrust. So build trust to the people and learn to accept their way of life and their doing of things, and develop interest and acceptance for the people you live with. You always have to understand that you are the guest in the new culture, and that you need to build trust and the people also need to trust you. If there's a trust relationship with the people, well, you can live easily and you can live happily. Tip number 7. Be open and identify with the new culture. Don't fight the new culture. Don't judge the new culture. Do not have a judgmental attitude. Be positive about the new culture. See what's good in the new culture and adapt it for yourself and for your life. And be open to explore new things. And you need to understand the behavior of others, the value systems, and the belief system of the new culture. So after a certain time, you need to get out of this distrust I just talked about and start to trust and identify with the new culture. Tip number 8, find a cultural guide. Look out for somebody who has been abroad, who knows your culture maybe a little bit, and who can explain their culture, who can explain the new culture. Find a cultural guide and go with him and ask him tons of questions. Ask him about their belief system. What do you believe in this thing? Why do you do this? And why do go people to this church? And why do they believe in these things? Look for things they are doing. Look for attitudes and look for habits that they do in the new culture. Well, if you have a cultural guide, you can explore and you can find out the answers to your questions much easier as if you would do it on your own. Tip number 9. Well, take your cultural misunderstandings with humor. Well, there's always an occasion where you misspell something and people start laughing about you, where you don't understand things and where people think, this is a foreigner. Well, just accept your misunderstandings, accept your cultural faux pas and learn from them. And take all the mistakes that you do with humor. You know, after a few years you laugh about this and you say, oh, what did I do in those days, you know, but right when you do these mistakes, you know, so they're pretty hard on you, but don't take them too heavy and take them with humor and take them easy. And tip number 10, celebrate when you have made little steps into the new culture. Celebrate new insights. Celebrate when you have found out this or that. Look for the principles behind the actions and habits. And if you have found it out, you know, if you have found out a principle like this, just celebrate if you have gotten new insights and if you have learned some new steps, if you have learned something in the language, if you have learned new words, if you have learned a new habit, why people are doing this. Just celebrate and be happy that you have gotten a step further into the new language and culture. It's my counsel that you go and observe. Learning the culture is a lot of watching people, of watching habits, of watching things, you know. So observe the people, what they are doing, and then ask yourself, why are they doing this? You know, what is the reason behind it? What is a principle? What is a value behind it? So my last tip would be observe. So I hope it was helpful. It was a short video, but I hope it helped you to get into the new culture and learn new things and are not frustrated when you get stuck at certain points. If you want to learn more about cultural insights, you look at my other videos. I have given you a lot of things to think about and to learn when you come into a new culture. And of course, subscribe to this channel here and hit the little bell button, so that's when you get new videos, when I post new videos, that you get them right away on your screen. And I hope you're doing very well in your new culture and you adapt well and you are happy where you are. So thank you very much for listening and see you later. Bye-bye.